Alex, Inventory Professor, today talking about purchase orders and inventory. Purchase orders are what we call non-posting documents, meaning they're like a worksheet. You might change any part of it until it's just the way you want it. In the case of purchase orders, we're communicating with a vendor our desire to purchase something the vendor has in a quantity that we need and at an agreed upon price acceptable to both sides. The quantity or availability might change by the time the order is complete. Obviously, to start off, we need to know what to order. QuickBooks doesn't have an automatic reorder wizard or a way to instantly order what items are short. In order to determine what to order, run the Inventory Stock Status by Item report under the Inventory dropdown. This report shows the established reorder points that were entered in the Item Edit screen, the amounts available, and a check mark as a flag for reordering. We want to export this report to a new Excel worksheet to get a list of only the items needed to reorder. Here we click the Excel button at the top and create a new worksheet. Click the Advanced button, turn off the Space Between Columns button at the top, as well as the other choices under the Excel options except for AutoFit. Also, select to show the report header on the printed report only, down at the bottom. And export. Note that you can't use this same procedure with the Inventory Stock Status by Vendor report. Once we filter the report for the items to order, it's going to lose the grouping of the preferred vendors. We'd be left with a list of items to order, but not know who to order them from. Once the document has been exported to Excel, select the entire worksheet and sort it by column M, the order column. This will group all of the items to be ordered. Delete the unnecessary rows that do not have a check mark. Highlight the worksheet again. This time, sort by column F, the preferred vendor. You now have a worksheet of items to order grouped by vendor. Based on the reorder point and how many you have available after open sales orders and assemblies, decide how many of each item to order grouped by the vendor. Now you're ready for the purchase order. For the most part, you will fill in the purchase order like you normally would. Select the Drop Ship To box only if this is a drop ship order. Choosing a customer or job here will change the Ship To box on the right, which is normally set to a warehouse. If I choose a customer in the Drop Ship To box, the information in the Ship To box will change as expected. On a side note, for dropship items, try to make them all non-inventory items. This way you can send your customer an invoice before you post the item receipt and not create a negative inventory balance. If these items are inventory types, you will need to date the bill or the item receipt on the same day or before your invoice to the customer. In this case, we set up these as inventory parts, assuming it is not a drop ship customer, and we added items here that are non-inventory parts if this were a drop ship. Change the ship to address box if this is not a drop ship order and you want the shipment to go to a different one than the default. So over here, change your warehouse. You can also set a due date, which is the same as the delivery date, based on when you need the products, and an expected date, also known as the ship date, for when the vendor promises to make delivery. You can later modify the open purchase orders detail report by adding these due and expected date fields to get further insight for production planning. Select your items and save the report. For items that you regularly order, a purchase order can be created and memorized, then set to remind the user at a given interval. This serves as a reminder to order the given reserved stock. So we have a standing order here. That will set to order each month. Then lastly, the open purchase orders detail report will tell you how many of each item that you have on order. For here, you go to Reports, Purchases, Open Purchase Orders Detail. Adding the ship date to the report lets you know if your vendors are going to match your required delivery dates. This has been QuickBooks Inventory. I'm Tim Grant, Business Solution Providers. Thank you.